gentlemen, yes, this is your favorite show, Sports Unfolded, with your favorite hosts, Eric and Ron.
Hey, welcome to the best sports podcast on the planet, Sports Unfolded, where we bring you all of the top sports stories going on in the world today. I am your host, Eric, main man right over there. Ron, how are you tonight?
I'm doing okay. I know we had a lot of technical difficulties last week, and for some reason, it was just not showing up on our Facebook. So
It is now. We are up.
I
We are
am
working.
I am glad that it's on now. So that was a little disturbing for me last week.
All right.
So I'm coming back and I'm fired up this week.
All right. Yeah, we're going to have a great show. So again, if you're joining us live, please join the chat. Let us know what you think about the topics we're covering, or if there's something you want to talk about, let us know. We would be glad to talk about it. A lot going on in the sports world this week, so we'll have so much to talk about, and I'm sure we can't cover it all. So, hey, if there's something you really want to talk about, let us know. As well, we want to thank all of our fans in Dallas, Georgia, WDJY 99.1 FM for every Saturday, allowing us to grace the airways from 1 to 3 p.m. SEC TV, Public Access Channel 12 in Southeast Connecticut. Thank you for the support there. And WBOB 990. It is an internet radio in Rhode Island. We are now on there Saturdays at 10 a.m. as well. So check those out. If you are listening at any point, join us every Friday night, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are live. We are fan interactive, and we like to have some fun. So join us for that as well. Kenny, thanks for joining. Let's go, baby. It is time. I am excited. We're going to have a great show. So let's start off with our leadoff story, Ron. And we're going to bring up Trevor Lawrence. And we're also going to bring up the hit, because this hit on Trevor Lawrence has caused some kind of controversy here in the NFL. Do you think the NFL needs to change the rules when it comes to the QB slide? So obviously he was knocked out of this game. 3-game suspension for Isaiah Alasher, and now Trevor Lawrence on the IR, probably done for the season.
Yeah, well, you know what? He slid too late. I'm sorry. It shouldn't. They got to do something about this, because if you're sliding too late, there's nothing a defender can do. And looking at how fast the play is, I don't think he could have stopped. Lawrence should have definitely slid a little earlier.
But they did show, like, the kid put the elbow out, definitely try to, make contact with his head. I'm still not. Again, I'm agreeing. I'm more on your side than I'm not, if that makes sense. But I do feel like, and Tom Brady said it best the other day.
Yes.
Quarterbacks, right? Quarterbacks are now, basically becoming runners. There's designed runs for these quarterbacks. We see it all the time. Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson, some of these guys, they run. Trevor Lawrence. You're going to take shots. Like, you got to understand that. People have got to understand, regardless of the slide.
And I like that coming from a quarterback who, didn't run much. Let's be honest, right? He didn't run much. But
over 1,000 yards in his
career, right? It's still there, and it's coming from a quarterback. The quarterback should have gone down earlier. Don't take the hit. If you're not wanting to take those hits and take those chances, don't run the ball. That is on your offensive coordinator and head coach. You got to let him know you're going to do this, but you got to go down before anyone is around you to hit you.
Yeah, no, listen, at the end of the day, what are they going to do? Like, it's going to get to what's he throw a flag in the air and say, you can't hit me? Or what does he wave his hand like a fair catch? I'm giving myself up. Some of these plays are bang, bang. Like, it's going to just happen.
Yeah.
And I think the league has to. The problem is here, the owners, Ron. The owners, this is their bread and butter. These are the people that put the players that put fans in the seats. Nobody wants to see Mac Jones versus whoever because that's what you're going to see now in Jacksonville. They want to see Trevor Lawrence. People pay for that, a top quality quarterback. Nobody wants.
Wait. Did you just say a top quality quarterback?
Right. Listen, he's better than Mac Jones. Who's Kansas City backup?
I don't know.
Exactly. Nobody's going to pay to see that.
No, I get the point. The problem is, what do you want the defense to do? Not tackle him?
And that's what I'm saying. Like, what do you get? What's the next? They throw like some kind of, wave a white flag. What do they have a white flag? Surrender and like, what are we doing? It's part of the game.
Like I said, you know what's coming, right? Flag football. We're going to have flags on the quarterbacks now.
And that's all you can do? No tackle?
You can't tackle them, can't hit them. You can only grab a flag.
Listen,
that's what's going to happen. You see it coming.
Until they understand, like, then don't allow a quarterback to run. I don't know. Like, there's so many different things. Then they shouldn't be an option.
Yeah.
Because you can't sit back and say, oh, they can run when it's convenient for my team to try to score. But then if he gets hit in a way that could possibly get him injured, now all of a sudden it's a problem. And defenses shouldn't be able to, like, you can't have it both ways. You can't talk out of both sides of your mouth.
No, you can't.
And the NFL just continues to do it. They continue to do it. The NFL does it every week.
We keep inching towards that flag football thing, right? And I remember a couple of years ago, I said that the NFL would be pay-per-view eventually, right? And we're going towards that already.
Yeah, Amazon does games, right? Netflix does games.
So now I'm saying, we're going to have flags on the quarterbacks because that's what's going to happen.
Well, think about it.
They don't want them to get hit.
If I'm Netflix and I'm getting the Christmas game and I'm featuring whatever two teams they are, I don't even remember who's playing at this point. But I don't want to be like, oh, well, we were hyping up Lamar Jackson versus Patrick Mahomes, and now both of them are up. Because now I'm losing money because people aren't going to tune in for that.
No.
So this is where, again, there's got to be some kind of balance. But the other day I read Google has an AI thing now that might be able to predict weather. Maybe they could get in with the NFL and predict injuries so then they can tell the guys when not to run. They're more likely to get injured on the sixth play in the third quarter, right? Like, it's part of the game. Yeah. And I think that's what ends up happening is people see this quick reaction to this hit and say, well, we got to change something. It's part of the game. And again, some of these running backs, the shots they take, or wide receivers, the shots they take, I get it. They're not the bread and butter of the league, but it still shouldn't be okay then either. But it's all right when they get hit.
Yeah, it's a violent game. There are going to be hits and there's going to be injuries. And no matter what, we all have to, hold our breath when our star players are about to get hit. And there's nothing really you can do about it. You can only hope that you have the players and the depth on your team to do that. And yes, I understand you're not going to be able to replace a quarterback like a Mahomes or a Hurts. I don't want to jinx anybody, like an Aaron Rodgers. I'll jinx Aaron Rodgers, okay? So like an Aaron Rodgers,
I don't think Jets fans
you
would
can't replace that.
I don't think Jets fans would be very upset with that one right now, Ron.
I'm just saying.
No, I agree with you.
Well,
listen,
I held back on the quarterback that I actually like.
You can't go low on a quarterback. You can't put your body weight on a quarterback. You can't hit a quarterback in the head.
Yeah.
Right? So there's so many different
below the knees either.
What's a late hit and not a late hit. So it's like there's so many different rules for a quarterback. Now that you're saying, okay, if they're in the playing field as a runner, can't hit them. Don't hit them. Like it doesn't make sense. And just say the quarterback can't be touched and just call it a day.
And the sad part is, Eric, the quarterbacks nowadays are bigger, stronger, and
Exactly.
faster. And what are you supposed to do?
Josh Allen can take out a linebacker right now.
Yes, you're talking about quarterbacks now that are the size of Gronkowski, for Christ's sake.
So it's just, it blows my mind that everybody wants to sit back and go through this thing. But what about the suspension? Do you agree with the 3 games?
I don't think so. I don't think so. Like maybe for the little extra
The elbow, right? I think it was because of the elbow. If he didn't throw the elbow, I think, he maybe gets a game.
The question is, why did he throw the elbow, Eric? Do people not like Trevor Lawrence?
I think, listen, we forget that they're in the same division. That's a division rival, though. Houston and
when you got a guy, you're playing against a guy that has a stadium named after him.
Oh, there we go.
That's a little arrogant, isn't it?
You don't got to tell me. I don't know. I don't know who would have decided that.
See, I don't like Trevor Lawrence, so I have no problem going after him right now. So,
So would you throw an elbow at Trevor Lawrence, Ron? Is that what you're saying?
I may.
Wow, buddy. Poor Trevor.
This is what you get for sliding late. Boom! There you go. Take that home with you.
If you're joining us live, let us know. Do you think a 3-game suspension was warranted for the hit on Trevor Lawrence? Or should they change the rules in the NFL to protect quarterbacks when they slide?
I don't think they should change the rule.
I agree with you. My friend.
If anything, they should make the quarterback slide earlier. And if you do get hit during that slide, it's your own damn fault.
Own damn fault. Yes. All right. That's some great conversation. Trevor Lawrence, we do hope you get better. Good luck with that.
Sure.
Head injuries are always something you don't want to mess with, Ron.
Let's go. Bring on Mac. Come on, Mac.
I'm watching the, I don't know if you've seen it on FX. It's on Hulu now. The Aaron Hernandez story. Like they did
I haven't seen it.
The series. And I've only seen the first episode, but I will tell you, like they're already trying to, the CTE, his first concussion in high school. These guys, head injuries. Listen, at the end of the day,
this was not a head injury that made him like this.
I'm just saying. No, I'm not. That's not what I'm saying. Though head injuries are a serious thing that people don't normally take seriously because it's not a physical body part.
He just couldn't leave the life behind.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying is though with the I'm wishing Trevor Lawrence well because head injuries can affect you. All right, let's move on. Let's talk some NFL. We're going to continue this NFL talk. This is an interesting story, Ron. Bill Belichick has expressed interest and has met with the University of North Carolina, the Tar Heels, for their head coaching job. Mac Brown.
Look, he's over there. Money.
Do you think he could be successful in college?
Why
I'd like
not?
to start. Could I start here?
Go ahead.
If you don't mind, because I normally let you stop, but I want to start on this one. This is dumb by Bill Belichick. Fire Lena, thanks for joining. This would be the biggest mistake in Bill Belichick's professional career. Because college is different. You see, Kenny thinks college is different than pros. Can you imagine Bill Belichick walking into a kid's living room and trying to recruit? We're talking about a recruit now, right? Or then he's got to go to a booster and say, hey, I'm begging you for more money for my program. Bill Belichick's not that kind of guy. It is not who he is.
See, here's where you're mistaken, Eric. He doesn't have to go to someone's living room. Bill Belichick is now the coach, and you're in. Because the chances are you're going to win a championship in 4 years.
Think about this, though. He's a teacher. I'm not saying he couldn't coach college. What I'm saying is to build a program. It isn't, though. Because things have changed with NIL and players want to get paid and all these different things that he'd have to be able to manage that I'm sure he doesn't want to manage. He wants to coach. In college, it's a whole different level. And to your point, Ron, he's kind of been faded out of the game. If you think about the last few years, they said it. He doesn't relate to players. He's not that kind of coach anymore. So how do you want him to go into an 18-year-old kid's living room and say, hey, you should play for me because I'm Bill Belichick? They don't even care who Bill Belichick is.
He's not going to go to the homes. He's going to send his coaching staff. And here's what he's going to do. He's going to get a young coaching staff to relate to the students. Now, it is geared towards someone like Bill Belichick, because what did Bill Belichick do in the NFL that is kind of being phased out? Cycling through the roster, right? Always getting somebody else that can do the job that another person could do, and he gets paid too much. You let him go and you bring somebody else that can do that job. He does that better than anyone. He can bring in young talent that can fit where he needs. And what does he do? He puts the talent where they need to be successful.
Austin says that if he goes to college, thank you for joining, Austin, he'd have full control. So he'd be doing what he did in New England, which he may not get in the pros. That's a good point. I just don't feel like at his age, 72, the all-time wins record is in his sights. He's 26 wins away. So if you're 26 wins away, you go to college, he's not going to go and get back into the pros. He has to get to the pros now. This is his last chance.
Well, I'm not saying has he signed on the dotted line?
Oh, Austin, right on cue on that, right? That's what I'm saying. No, I'm not saying he signed, but it wouldn't make sense for him to go. And I think this is more a play for.
I would just say he'd be successful because of what he can do with a roster.
To me, this is a rouge. He is trying to say, look, guys, there's people interested in me, and the NFL teams are going to be like, whoa, 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 whoa. Bill might go to college?
This is what I was going to say, and why he's doing this. He's going for the interview. He's showing the NFL that he can still coach this game. You just got to give him the team to do it. And there are several teams out there that could use him. And let me tell you, I like Cincinnati in all of this now.
He did have a second interview today. That's what I'm saying, though. It's mind-boggling that he would even, offer this. Because to me, it seems like he would be better off just waiting for a coach. There's going to be an NFL job for him this year.
Look, I mean, you look at some of these teams, right? I mean, you think the Cincinnati Bengals aren't going to fire their head coach?
Yeah, they don't fire people, though.
They're going to fire him.
How long did, what's his name there? Marvin, whatever his, I don't even remember his name now.
Right, yeah.
He lasted a long time.
Marvin
that dude
Lewis?
Lewis, that's it. He should have been fired like 10 years earlier, and it just didn't happen.
I agree. Look.
If he goes to college, though, I guess my point would be if he does, Dallas would be the best fit, in my opinion. I think the Dallas thing's interesting. Jerry Jones being in charge may not work for him that way. Marvin Lewis, yes. It's funny, though, because everybody says Dallas, and I don't know if Dallas is the best option for him. I agree with you, Ron.
I now look at Cincinnati. They're struggling to make the playoffs. They got a quarterback that is, people can compare. I'm just saying they can compare the two. And I'm not going to say,
Just say it. Tom Brady. He's not even close.
But
go ahead.
He also has receivers there. And I think Bill Belichick showing up on the doorstep could actually make some of those players stay.
Here's an interesting one I got for you. Oh, go ahead.
And the defense, who has been subpar, that would uptick for sure. For sure. And that would turn Cincinnati around in a hurry.
I got a different team for you. San Francisco 49ers. There's talk that Kyle Shanahan may go to Chicago, or Chicago may try to make an offer. You give him up draft picks. You get a couple number one draft picks. The only issue here would be Brock Purdy because of the contract. But Bill Belichick to San Francisco would entice. That is a already loaded team. ready to win, has been to the Super Bowl, just may need a coach to get him over the hurdle.
Then you look at a couple of those players like McCaffrey and Ayuk and Debo. They're interchangeable on that offense. I mean, we know he loves his running backs that can catch.
Yeah, well, McCaffrey's probably done. If he goes to Dallas, that defense will be number one with the next season.
Look, there's a lot of fits for him. There's a lot of places that he can go that has a quarterback that just isn't doing anything.
They've talked about Jacksonville as a possibility. So I listen. I
He
just don't
doesn't want Mac Jones again.
Yeah, imagine him going back to. But does he make this move, Ron? Is this just smoke screens
I think
for him to get a job?
I think it's
Why would you go a couple times though now? Unless he feels like maybe he doesn't have an opportunity in the NFL anymore.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe the record isn't that important to him.
Which would be crazy to think about because that's like 3 years. You'd coach 3 more years, you get the record, in my eyes. Maybe.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. It certainly changes the landscape of the NFL and the college ranks because if he gets hired by UNC, I mean, you're going to take a nothing program and make it into like a big time program. And I think they would win a championship within 2 years.
I just college doesn't make sense at this age. Yeah, I always thought he wanted the record. Can I say this too, though, Ron? And I'm gonna be don't be upset with me here. I think this ruins his career if he does go because I don't think he's going to be as successful as people think. I listen. I'm not saying he's not a great coach. He is a great coach, but he had the greatest quarterback of all time, which makes such a big difference. We expect him to plop in. He couldn't do it with Cam Newton. He couldn't do it with Mac Jones, right? Like we saw that he can't win with he makes games more interesting. He did that for New England, but that was about it. He had lost some of that because of Tom being gone. And I don't know, going to college now, he's going to be able to replicate what he did in the pros because these are all kids that don't know anything from anything.
Yeah.
And I just hate to see that he walks walk off.
It's a toss-up, right?
It's either don't go to anything and just do the TV thing, or if you're going to go back to the pros, again, hit one of those teams that you think, like, listen, I can get 12 wins out of this team. That's the only options for Bill Belichick. Like, to me, at this age, 72 is not, you're talking, he's not coaching until he's 80. And if he is, that's insane.
I don't know. I mean, we can't get in. Look, I mean, he's dating what, a 24-year-old? So it might be. Maybe he feels he's only 40 now.
Although, too, now she could hang out on the campus. Maybe she gets kids to want to go to the. She's not a bad-looking woman.
No,
right? No. So maybe that's Bill's angle. We go to UNC. I bring her. She brings some of the, the little boys to come over down and say, hey,
boys to the yard.
Her milkshake would bring all the boys to the yacht, my friend. Without a doubt. I guess before we move on, does he go?
I don't think he does. I don't think he does.
If offered the job.
If he gets offered, he does. But I bet you he would have a clause to leave for the NFL.
I don't know if he does. The Dion effect. We didn't even think about that.
What's the Dion effect?
A lot of kids wanted to play for Dion because of...
Yeah, well, that's what I was saying. He doesn't have to go. Just knowing he's the head coach, people are going to want to go.
But I also feel like more people liked or knew Tom Brady. Look at how many New England fans, let me say this. I'm not going to say this, Brady fans, because they weren't New England fans. As soon as Tom went to Tampa, now they were Tampa Bay fans.
I was one of them.
It was, you are a piece of garbage. And I will say this.
I'm a Tom Brady fan, but I'm a Patriot fan, too.
You can't be both.
I can be both.
You can't be both.
I'm both.
And I will say this.
I don't like Tampa Bay now.
I don't see kids going and being like, oh man, that was the guy who coached Tom Brady. I don't know. I
No,
don't
they're
think
not
that's one.
saying that. They're saying that's Bill Belichick.
Colorado, they were like, that's Dion. That's prime time. Holy cow, that guy, I watched him growing up as a kid, and I want to be him.
Yeah. But maybe some of these
30+ years
kids
of coaching
aspire to be
experience.
coaches. I want to be Bill.
Yeah, I'm not saying, listen, coaching part of it, I don't think is a problem. I'm not saying he can't coach kids because, yeah, if you want to learn from somebody, he'd be the best person to learn from. I just don't know if he has the luster to drag kids to want to go there. I think they'd still go. If it was between Colorado and UNC, they're going to Colorado because of Dion over Bill Belichick. I don't think he holds that same clout as we think he did. We as guys in their 50s look at Bill Belichick. Wow, this guy's amazing.
Look,
Kids that are
all I
18
know
don't care about Bill Belichick.
is if you're a player and you want to win championships, I'm choosing
What has
Bill
he won,
Belichick.
though?
And I think most people are going to do the same thing.
First year without Tom Brady didn't win. Last 4 years without Tom Brady didn't win. So people look at it that way. A lot of people, that's the argument. And it still is today.
Well, I don't know.
I'm 26 and think that. He thinks he's all right. All right. Austin, you got me, bro. All right. All right. Great conversation about Bill Belichick. Again, if anybody else live, what is your opinion? Does he go to college? Does he actually make the jump and leave the NFL? Or does he look for an NFL job? Let us know in the chat as well. Austin seems to think he's going. I think Austin thinks he's going.
Yeah, I don't think he's going. I mean, he did have a second interview though. So I could see him having a clause.
Like Santa?
Yes.
Okay.
I could see him having a clause.
Holiday
to go
spirit
to the
here.
NFL. So I'm sure he has an out.
All right, let's continue this NFL talk with some games of interest. So week 14, Ron, already had a great game last night. Can we talk about that for a second?
Okay, that was the best game ever on Thursday night.
But I will say this. Bill, I think he goes to the boys. Okay, so he thinks NFL. Cowboys. Well, I will say this. The thing that scares me most about Dan Campbell, he showed yesterday. Because if that was a playoff game, he could have very easily lost that game on all those fourth downs he went for.
Right.
And we said that was going to cost him because that's what cost him last year. I don't think he learned from it. I'll defend Mac Jones in the first year. No, yeah, McDaniels was great. Well, yeah, and who made those decisions to bring in Matt Patricia?
Right.
Bill Belichick. All right. So I have 4 games of interest, Ron, that we need to watch this Sunday. Because the Monday night game, I actually have as well, though. So I have 3 games and the Monday night game.
I have 4 too.
All right.
But I don't have the Monday night game.
All right. So you got, I'm going to say for Chargers at Chiefs, obvious.
Right. Right.
Probably.
That's an obvious because this is LA Chargers' chance to show that they can contend.
Right. And we're going to do this game during our prediction segment. So if you're joining us live, don't jump off. Wait till predictions. You can make your predictions, see if you can beat us. But this will be one of the games that we're actually going to decide as well. So Chargers at Chiefs. So, I agree with you. The Chargers, this is their chance. Like if you're going to, Jim Harbaugh, great coach, right? We've heard all of it. Oh yeah, look at what he's done. Turned this team around. This is the game now that you have to prove that what everybody's saying is legitimate.
If you don't win this game, you're not ready.
Yeah, you got to beat the top dog. You got to beat the top dog. All right, what else you have?
I actually have the Atlanta-Minnesota game. This is a must-win for Atlanta.
Kirk Cousins going back to Minnesota.
Yeah.
That revenge fact, like, does he have a little bit of salt in it? You know,
but the problem is they just got done losing, you know, and now they're in a tie with Tampa Bay.
Well, that's a good point, Austin.
So it is more important for Atlanta to win this game than ever because Tampa Bay, should win this week. And if Atlanta loses, they're not in first place anymore.
Kirk O'Chain, you got a drink in his cup. But it's true that there's some shenanigans going on in New England, and maybe Bill Belichick wasn't the reason why they were failing. Atlanta is on life support. Yeah, I agree as well, Austin. They need it. 6-6. They're second in the division, right? You need to start to figure this thing out quick.
Yeah, last week's loss was big.
I also have another big game. NFC West. Seahawks at Cardinals.
I got that game as well.
Somebody's got to want to win that division.
If Seattle wins it, it's theirs.
Two games
they'll
up,
be up
right?
by 2.
Yeah. Arizona needs that win.
And frankly, I think Seattle has a better team.
It's going to be a good game. It's a good game. It's a good game. What else do you have?
I have the Jets and Miami. And for the simple reason, Miami's hanging in there by a thread. And for some reason, I think the Jets are going to go into Miami and win this game, and both of them will be out of the playoffs. And it'll give the Patriots a chance to get a top 6 pick.
Tampa's got it in the bag, as Austin thinks. So even if the Falcons win. I have the Bengals at the Cowboys. And I have it for the reason of, listen, both of these teams realistically could still make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Whichever one loses is done. Like, it's out.
Right.
There's no shot. The Cowboys actually have the best shot. They're only a game out. They're a game out.
I know.
So realistically, if I am thinking we expected the Bengals to be a playoff team. We expected the Cowboys to be a playoff team. One of them still may be. This game will determine it.
Yeah, and to me, it looks like it'll be Cincinnati. But Cincinnati is further back from the playoff picture.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it'd be very tough for them to get in. I think they got to, win out, and one of the teams has to almost lose out, Denver or somebody. Yeah. Rodgers is going to be seeing ghosts. I don't know what Rodgers is going to be seeing. I mean, he might be doing some shrooms on the side. I don't even think that guy – he might not play. They were already sitting guys, the Jets.
Yeah, he might not play.
Jets
he might not want to play. He might retire before the game.
Breece Hall sitting. I think Sauce Gardner's sitting. They put Mosley on the IR now. I think they're just going to let this season go right through. They're gonna try to get a top draft pick. Imagine that they're going back to. Imagine if they bring back Zach Wilson. That would be awesome.
Where is he playing right now?
Denver? Is he in Denver?
Hey, I got a question for you. Where the hell is Garoppolo?
I forgot where he went. He's Rams, I thought. No.
Is it Arizona?
Typical Jets. Rodgers is already on. Yeah, yeah, I'm telling you, he's doing something in his basement.
Because, here's all these job openings. How has nobody gotten on the phone to get Garoppolo?
Because you get him for 3 games if you're lucky.
Yeah, but there's
that
only
guy can't
3
stay
games
healthy.
you need. I would have thought for sure somebody would have been having him as a starter. He wins as a starter. You just got to hope he stays healthy.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where he is. It's a good call. You know what? I'm going to look it up.
Wait, Isaac Rodgers? Is that what he's talking about?
I don't know whose brother he's talking about. Am I right? Is he on the Rams? Yeah, he's on the Rams. Yeah, current team, Rams. Yeah, he's not beating out Stafford. He's got a doodle on.
Yeah, the guy wins, though.
He does. All right, Ron.
Can't stay healthy ever.
Isaac Wilson. Oh, his brother. Zach Wilson's brother.
Oh.
Ooh.
Oh, well, if he has a brother that plays car, he's probably going to be the good. It's the car thing, right?
Yeah, right?
David Carr?
Yeah. Derek and David, yeah.
Yeah. So Isaac Wilson is probably the better one.
That's a good segue because David Carr was one of the number 1 draft picks since 2000.
Yes,
so we're going to do our starting 5, Ron.
This was a good one. I actually like this one. I gotta find it.
So our starting five, we have to pick our starting five from the number one NFL draft pick since the year 2000. So 24 of them. There's been 24. I will say this. There are some really bad ones. Yeah.
Yes.
And I feel like the NFL has learned something, because if you look at the last few years, you see better quality than at the beginning of this. Like, it just seemed like, hey, we had a pick. We just picked whoever. Because there were some guys at the early 2000s that weren't very good.
Look, there's a lot of quarterbacks on this list.
Oh, a ton.
And let me tell you, as I look through the whole list, the quarterbacks are not impressive at all.
No, there was a couple decent
There was
ones.
really no quarterback that was just so impressive. It just like you had to take that number one, right?
It's crazy.
Except
Crazy.
for maybe
So
one.
you are first this week, Ron. So we'll start off with your honorable mentions.
All right. So this is pretty good. Now, mind you, it's not great, but it was a good list to put them in order. My honorable mentions, starting from the bottom up, my 10th guy on the list was Alex Smith.
One of my honorable mentions.
Honorable mention. Carson Palmer.
Did not
honorable
make my list.
mention. Andrew Luck.
Made my list. Honorable mention.
Honorable mention.
Yes.
If he stuck around,
I think he would have been a great quarterback.
Yeah, I think so too. Just not enough work. Where was I? Andrew Luck. Clowney made my honorable.
Yeah, I didn't.
Honorable
Out of
mention.
the defensive guys that were up there, he wasn't. I didn't consider him.
Well, he was my third defensive player. And my bubble guy, believe it or not, was Eli Manning.
It pained me, and I put him in as honorable mention because of the damn 2 Super Bowls. Damn you, Eli! Damn you, Eli! He just signed.
So he was my bubble guy. So
I also
it was tough because I would not choose him really ever.
Giving Alex Smith some love. Yeah, he did. He made our honorable mention.
He did.
I had one more honorable mention. Joe Burrow made my honorable mention.
I don't even have him on my list anywhere.
I liked his numbers and 1 Super Bowl appearance, but Joe Burrow made mine.
Yeah,
so,
it just wasn't enough for me.
All right, so let's get into our starting 5, Ron. Who did you have at number 5?
My number 5 was Mario Williams. This guy was good.
He was. I wanted to put him in.
158 games, 16 forced fumbles, 5 fumble recoveries. He has a touchdown, 97 and a half sacks, 317 solo tackles, 158 quarterback hits. Not bad, right? 4 Pro Bowls and 1 All-Pro. Mario Williams was certainly good enough to be in my top 5.
I messed up. One more honorable mention. I had Jake Long.
Lineman.
So
yes, he was my he was in there too.
So
I have everything crossed out and
so in my number 5, Ron, there were 2 offensive linemen taken number 1 overall in the last 24 years. Jake Long, who made my honorable mention, and number 5, Eric Fisher for me. 120 games started, 2 Pro Bowls and a championship. He was that first run with the Chiefs. In what they were able to do. So Eric Fisher at 5 for me. Watching from Cedar Hill, Texas. David, thanks for joining. Texas in the house. That is awesome.
There we go. Thank you, David. Please share, follow, and stay with us for the predictions. Stay with us. Show.
Get your name on the prediction chart. Who'd you have at number 4, Ron?
Number 4 was Matthew Stafford. And, I know he has a losing record, but I gave him the benefit of the doubt because it was Detroit.
Yeah, and I wanted to, but I couldn't.
But anybody all his other numbers were fantastic.
Yeah, it was.
63.3 completion percentage, 59,000 yards, 7.3 yards per attempt, 374 touchdowns, and 187 interceptions, two Pro Bowls and a Super Bowl. I think if he had good coaches,
I agree. I
That's
couldn't
the
do it.
thing.
If you had a losing record, I didn't put you in my starting five.
I usually don't, but I made the exception for him. I did.
All right. So at number 4 for me, Michael Vick.
Don't even have him on my list.
61, 51, and 1. 4 Pro Bowls, 1 comeback player of the year. But the rushing yards, it's over 6,000 rushing yards in his career.
Yeah, he should have been a running back because I think his quarterback numbers are kind of terrible.
So I went Michael Vick. I would have Michael Vick on my team.
Yeah,
Without a doubt. Who'd you have at 3?
Dog.
No, come on. But
It's funny.
Ron.
I do look. With that being said, even though it was a joke, it's not a really laughing matter. But I do like that he changed his life. I do.
He did, and
he actually came back and he was better.
The league today with these quarterbacks is because Michael Vick.
Yes,
absolutely. He was the guy that started that, like the running.
Maybe Cunningham.
But not to the degree that Vick did.
I know.
I mean, it became. But anyway, at 3, who'd you have?
Number 3, I have Cam Newton. Believe it or not,
I do too. We tied that one. Cam Newton at 3.
I couldn't believe I'm putting Cam Newton up here. And I'm like, what is wrong with me?
Watching from Chicago, Stephanie. Thank you.
There we go. Everybody's in the house today.
Cam Newton at 3.
Cam Newton. I couldn't believe it. I'm looking at this. His numbers are fantastic. The one stigma that he got was because he didn't jump on that stupid ball
in the Super Bowl. You can never forget it. There's certain things in everybody's career. That was what his.
That destroyed everybody's opinion of him. It destroyed him.
Again, another mobile quarterback right? He could do it all. 3 Pro Bowls.
His numbers were fantastic.
The MVP too. He won an MVP.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why he's up there, because of that MVP.
Agree. Cam Newton was a dog, man. When he was in that phase with Carolina, he was the man. That's big. 2 dog references, by the way.
He's got the size over Michael Vick, right? He's bigger.
I can say your Bears are eliminated, Stephanie. But listen, a lot to look forward to. You're gonna get a new coach. I think you got some opportunities. But could be Bill. I think, right? Truth, thanks for joining. Hello to you as well.
Look, I'm glad everybody's
for joining.
Here. Please join in with the predictions later on in the show. You're going to love that segment. And, of course, the pick and roll segment. You're going to love it.
Truth, thanks for the follow.
Number 2 surprised me too, Eric.
Who'd you have at 2?
Number 2, I have Jared Goff.
So I had Jared Goff. You copy my list.
I'll tell you. Look, as much as I get on Jared Goff, his numbers are excellent. 210 touchdowns, 92 interceptions. I will take that from a quarterback any day of the week. I will take that. 7.5 yards per attempt, which is the best of all the quarterbacks on the list. The best. I mean, this guy got... I don't know. He got railroaded.
We crapped on him for so many years. And I'm telling you, Jared Goff is a good quarterback. 78 and 51 in his career.
75 and 51 record.
One got to be good. Miles. James coming through. James at number 1. I think you may be right, James. We're going to have to wait to see what Ron says. But, yeah, I had Goff at 2 as well. The Bears have come into play here with Stephanie. So, Stephanie, hold in, though. You got hope. A lot of hope. Mike Vrabel might be option in Chicago.
I would like that.
Yeah, look what
number 1.
Even the Rams, you got to the Super Bowl. So glad the Lions kicked the Packers' butt. They did not kick their butt. They won by 3. The Packers impressed.
And it was at Detroit, mind you.
Very impressed with the Packers. You cannot listen. You can't sit back and go, hey, they won by 3, Detroit, and they could have lost that game. They were down.
Yes.
Number 1, Ron, is James Wright.
Oh, absolutely. It's not even close.
Miles Garrett, man. Come on.
Miles Garrett. Now, listen to these numbers, Eric. He's played 112 games. 112
Remember,
games.
he
That's
got
all.
suspended. You remember he got suspended because of the helmet hit.
Yeah. 112 games. He has 98 and a half sacks in 112 games. That's crazy. Imagine what his numbers are going to be when he gets to 200 games.
Yeah.
It's insane. 20 forced fumbles, 5 fumble recoveries. He has a touchdown, mind you. 237 solo tackles. I'd fear if I was a quarterback because he has 191 quarterback hits in 112 games. He's going to get 2 times on you in a game. 2. He's getting you for 2.
Yes. David's glad the Bears had it. Matt Eberflus had to get fired. 100% right. Aaron Donald was not a number 1 pick. So his number 1 overall pick since 2000. Aaron Donald, not a number 1 pick. But obviously would have been
imagine the teams that passed him.
Yeah, right. Great conversation. Starting 5.
Miles Garrett is so good.
He was.
So good.
He's the beast. The best defensive player right now in the league.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that.
All right, Ron. While we got everybody joining, hopefully you like some NBA, because we're going to talk some NBA. This is an interesting story because this is a guy who's changing the league as well. We talked about Michael Vick and what he did for the quarterbacks. Nikolai Jokic, he's passed Magic Johnson now for 3rd all-time with triple-doubles. How impressed are you with this feat from him?
I'm really impressed because, I mean, you look at this guy. He looks like your dad's friend. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Garage Bears
and
Garage Bears and some Miller Lite.
He comes in, has the bottle of vodka in his pocket. He doesn't look like he's an NBA player. I'm sorry, but this guy is absolutely spectacular. He can see the whole court. He sees everything. He's like the Gretzky of basketball.
We talk cerebral. Like the brains that he has to process things. So think about this, Ron. This is what's so impressive. He passed Magic. Magic was a guard. The other 2 guys ahead of him, Russell Westbrook, who's on his team, who had 200, and Oscar Robinson, who has 181. You know what they were? Guards. He's a center. Who do you think y'all? So actually, one of our questions will be that, but I'm that is gonna.
Since when have we been streaming? About 3.5 years, going on 4. Actually, it's going to be 4 in February.
Yeah. So every Friday night, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we are live in Fan Interactive. MVP, NFL MVP. It's an interesting one. I personally think Barkley deserves it. That's my opinion. I don't think he'll get it because he's not a quarterback. That's right. I think. That's who I think.
He would be my pick, but because they only go with quarterbacks now, I'd probably say Josh Allen.
Yeah, Josh Allen's another one that's up there as well. So Jokic, 29 years old, in his 10th season, he could get to 200. He's got 139.
Yeah.
If you don't mind, we can connect on Discord. What is your Discord username? We will get that information to you after. Truth. Think about this too, how he's changed the game. When we talk about centers, we thought about, scoring down low and rebounds. He's added the assist to it. This year, Ron, he is averaging a triple-double, 29.9 points, 13.4 rebounds, and 10.4 assists. He is a center. We're talking about a center.
Craziness, I mean, he's redefining the position. I still can't get over the passing. He'll just stand there with his hands over with the ball, and he's looking at the defender, and then all of a sudden, whoop, he passes, and it's an easy bucket. I mean, it's dominating. It's dominating. You can't stop him.
So good. And it's crazy. It's crazy to think about. Like when he got into the league, they said it. He was a Taco Bell commercial on the draft. Taco Bell commercial was going on while he drafted. Now he's turned into one of the top players in the league. All right. So Jokic, great job. Let's see if he can continue that. We're going to move on to Major League Baseball, Ron, and I'm starting to this on this one.
Boy. Oh,
I have to
boy.
I want my Christmas cards gone from anybody who's in the Major League Baseball office.
Yeah, look, I have the bat through the logo.
Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. So, the golden bat. Nice. Major League Baseball Commissioner Rob Manfred has suggested a new change to the rules, the golden at-bat rule. Do you think it makes sense for baseball? This may be, Ron, the stupidest thing I've ever heard in the history of any sport. So the rule is each team would have the ability to change a batter at least once during the game, and that player would have an extra at-bat. So, for instance, the end of the World Series, you got two guys on, your eighth batter is up. You say, I want Aaron Judge to take his spot. So when I was reading this story, I don't know if you know who the Savannah Bananas are.
Yes, I do. It's a joke.
Right. It's a fun entertainment thing for the family. You go out. It's not serious. This is where this rule came from. So I said, Rob Manfred, let's do this. Let's light the baseball bats on fire like they do. Let's have the glow in the dark where all the lights go out and their uniforms are. What the hell are we thinking about doing? Listen, there's changing rules. I like the pitch clock. I like the bigger bags. I like some of that stuff where it wasn't really changing a lot of the game. You're talking about changing completely something that was never been done ever.
Right. For this matter, why carry a bench? Why have a bench?
And then how's that fair to all the other players? There's guys that have stepped up in big moments. They make it sound like, oh, Aaron Judge, the only guy could have hit against the Dodgers. He stunk in the postseason.
Yeah.
Why would I want him to go up? Maybe that's not the best option. You go through your lineup the way you should. Not, oh, I'm going to pick this guy. What's going to happen next? We're going to change pitches and then say, oh, we want to bring the other pitcher back? Yeah, into a dog and pony show.
You know what it is?
Ridiculous.
I'm going to tell you what it is. It is so Ohtani can get an extra at-bat in a game. That's what it's for. That's the only reason why it's for. And Major League Baseball should be ashamed of themselves if they do it. If they do it, I will watch less games than I already do.
It's asinine. It is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And then does a coach get fired? Like, hey, you pulled your guy, you put another guy in, that guy. It's a dog and pony show. I agree.
That is absolutely 100%.
Like, you can't sit back and just want to change the game completely over a group. I'm not saying, listen, what the Savannah Bananas do is great for entertainment purposes. It is not a sport. It's not a sport. We don't do the things they do. Guys just dancing on the, what is that next to? Hey, you know, they play, my milkshake brings all the boys to the yard and they just start dancing on the field. Like, that's not part of the game.
Yeah. No, it's changing the game, right? It's changing the game. And they think that this is going to save the game of baseball. No, it just makes it more of a laughingstock.
I need a big out. I'm going to bring my reliever in for one pitch, get this guy out, and then he can pitch again in the ninth. Like, where does it stop?
Right.
Absolutely the dumbest. If this rule goes down, Ron, I'm done with baseball altogether. I am done with that.
Oh, I would be too. Look, I mean, it's a joke. You're now talking about interchangeable positions and lineups. So what's the point of the lineup? What's the point of carrying bench players if you can do that? Why not do that several times? Do it once an inning. And then you only have to carry 9 players.
Aaron Judge at bat for the 15th time. Like, what are they doing? This is stupid. Maybe they should do intermission keg stand contest to decide who gets the extra out the next day. Right? Yeah, maybe. Whoever lasts long. Like, don't make this seem like it's a professional thing then. because this is a video game rule you could put in to have fun. This is not professional. This is not how it works.
No.
Hey, NFL, let's make a 5th down just on certain down. I want an extra down because I think I could make this 1st down now. Like what are they doing? Hockey. You know what I mean? Hey, you're going to let me, the goalie stops the puck. I want to shoot it again because I feel like I got another shot. What's next? Who's deciding this? Rob Manfred runs Major League Baseball, Ron. This guy's in charge of baseball. I can't even believe it.
He's lost his mind at this point.
Somebody needs to drug test him. Test this guy.
Pretty much.
Because what are you thinking? And then he's all excited about it. Oh, it's getting headway and people are getting excited. That's because, again, here comes the owners saying, I want to see Ohtani bat 6 times instead of 5. That's all that is.
It is. It's the Ohtani rule.
It's going to ruin freaking baseball altogether. The shift was a great rule change because it was ruining baseball. You changed
and we
it
all
to make
know
it
that
better.
Freddie Freeman won the World Series for that team, not Ohtani, by the way.
Let's move on because now why are you trying to piss me even more? All right, Ron, it is time for split decisions. This one should be a fun one.
Ah, this is great. I can find it. There it is.
Our split decision segment, basically we ask each other 2 more likely questions, and then we have to make a decision. You are first this week, Ron. So again, if you're live and you want to, ask a more likely question as well, feel free to do that as well. Ron, your first split decision.
All right. Considering we just talked about this a little while ago, sort of, Giannis is the current leader in points per game with 32.6. Right? Who is more likely to get the title at the end of the year? Is it Giannis? Or is it LaMelo Ball, who averages 31.1 for Charlotte? Or is it Nikola Jokic, who averages 29.9? Or is it SGA, who averages 29.8?
There's only 2 big players. Well, no, what's his name came back too? Middleton came back for the Bucks. So that may take some points away from Giannis. But I think Jokic's out because he likes to share the ball too much, and I think he's not going to clip the 30. SGA would be an interesting one. Who was the second guy again?
LaMelo Ball, 31.1.
I think Ball gets hurt too much. He'd probably be out at some point. It's going to skew his numbers. I think Giannis does get it. I mean, he's on a mission right now. I think he wants to prove something this year, that he's still one of the top elite players in the league. And he's playing that way. So I would go Giannis. I think Giannis holds on to it.
Okay.
32 is it's a good amount, too.
I think it would be one of the 2. LaMelo Ball, I think, would be more likely to do it, but he has to stay healthy, like you said.
Yeah, and I just don't see that happening.
Yeah.
All right, Ron, my first split decision. Which Major League Baseball free agent is more likely to sign with the Boston Red Sox? Juan Soto or Corbin Burns?
There's no other option?
These are your 2 options. 2 best Major League free agents.
I'm going to say Juan Soto.
More likely Juan Soto signs with the Boston.
Right, and I don't think he's signing with them. So what does that tell you?
So you're not
like
getting
I said, Eric, this is all smoke and mirrors by the Red Sox. They're making it look like they want to sign somebody, but they're not going to sign anyone.
Everybody's saying that
they do.
Every deal's been over $600 million. So Boston offered over $600 million for him.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, I listen, I don't think they get Soto either. I don't even think the Yankees are getting him at this point.
I still think the Mets are going to get him.
You don't think if they offered $600 million to Soto, they won't offer Burns a good amount of money?
I just don't think. I think they're purposely knowing that somebody else is offering more, is what I'm saying. I think they're being very slick.
AI Babe Ruth signs with the Boston Red Sox.
Yeah, that's about it. That's about it.
Uh,
I could see that happening.
Maybe
And
that
then
should
have a
be
pretend player go up there and hit.
Rob Manfred. Here you go. Rule change. Hologram of the former players. You can bring in like Babe Ruth during a
Ted
game,
Williams,
right? Bring these guys into a
Lou
game,
Gehrig.
right? There we go. I've just solved Major League Baseball. I'd pay to see Babe Ruth hitting again.
Sammy Sosa for Chicago.
Sammy Sosa, baby. All right,
There you go, Chicago. See, there we go. Sosa could be playing for your Cubbies.
Again, bring him back.
You just put the hologram there, and if the bat swings through
Sosa's
the
still
ball,
alive.
you get a home run.
Sosa's still alive. Your second split decision.
Oh. All right. Of these teams, who is more likely to dethrone the Kansas City Chiefs?
Ooh.
Detroit Lions,
Which would have to
Philadelphia
be the
Eagles,
Super Bowl.
Baltimore Ravens,
Okay,
or the
AFC.
Buffalo Bills? Who is more likely to do it? That's a tough one.
Well, the problem is it can't be like Philly and Detroit to knock each other out. So one of them would have to automatically be out.
Right.
Because it'd be a Super Bowl. Lamar, to me, and the Ravens just seem like they don't know how to win when it counts. So I would definitely scratch him off because I just feel like...
Isn't that like everybody?
Yeah. But Buffalo, I believe... I think Buffalo's cursed. Until they show me they're not. Listen, the Super Bowl everybody wants to see is the Lions versus the Bills because there's no chance that one of them can't win. They have to win. One of them has to win a Super Bowl finally.
That would actually be excellent.
Right? So I would say Buffalo has the best shot. But again, it would still be in Kansas City if the records hold true because they're sitting in second and not in first, then Kansas City has home field. So Philly to me is, I don't know. Like, I think they're the best team, but I still don't, if that makes sense. And Detroit, to me, I don't trust Dan Campbell. So I'm going to go Buffalo, but I don't even feel comfortable with that. I would go Buffalo.
Well, because none of these teams have proven themselves to be able to do it. That's the
every
problem.
time I think the Ravens are going to be like, that's it. Their defense is one of the worst in the league this year. Like,
Eric, when you think about it, who are the quarterbacks that have won a Super Bowl that are still playing?
Yeah, there wasn't many, right? We did this already.
Stafford,
Mahomes,
Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. All right, my second split decision, Ron. And David had already kind of chimed in on this, but which player is more likely to win the NFL MVP? Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, or Saquon Barkley? Look at that.
I'm going to say Josh Allen is more likely to do it because they won't give it to Barkley.
Right, more deserving Barkley. More
I
likely.
think he deserves it, but he won't win it. I think they're going to give it to Josh Allen because they need to spread some love.
Yeah.
And Lamar Jackson just won it.
Yeah, I can't see Jackson getting it. Especially, too, they're not one of the top teams. They're not.
So I think it's going to be Josh Allen who wins it.
Check out Sports Unfolded, NFL, NHL, and NBA rankings all on our page as well. So you can chime in on those as well. All right, Ron, we're going to talk some NHL. And former Bruin, Tyler Seguin, out 4 to 6 months for the Dallas Stars. Is this bad news for the Stars? Can they withstand this? So he does right now. Third, so probably season ending. They're saying most likely season ending. Third in points, second in the plus minus, fourth in goals, fourth in assists this season.
Yeah, it's a lot of offense being taken away from the team. You're talking power play, just the playmaking ability of Tyler Seguin. Yes, he is older than,
30,
he's
32.
past his prime.
32. Yep.
A little past his prime. But he makes a lot of things happen. And I remember him last year in the playoffs. If they have to go to the playoffs without Tyler Seguin, forget your Stanley Cup.
Here's
Because he was one of their best players last year in the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, here's your problem. Left hip injury. I don't think it's not good news, James, right? Left hip injury. 2020-21 season, he had a right hip injury that sidelined him for the entire season other than for 3 games. So now you're talking double hip surgery. And I know hockey plays, we always say, are tough. But, you know, this could be almost career threatening to him because
it could be because I mean this is a guy that's played a lot of games.
Yeah, he started young, right? He was a young. The Bruins, what, 18? I think when he
was 18 when he came into the Bruins. Yes, he's a very talented player. This is a big loss because it's a long season, and you need players to contribute throughout that time. And he's a guy that has been so steady. You know, when some players' offense disappears, like this year, Robertson has not done much of anything. I think he's got like 5 goals. Tyler Seguin has been there to pick up that slack, and this could hurt. I don't think they'll be in trouble of not making playoffs. They'll still make playoffs, but they're gonna struggle with some goals at times. And Tyler Seguin's a very solid offensive player that can get teams to bounce back with the scoring ability because of just his sheer playmaking. So it's going to be a big loss. I wouldn't expect that they make a run for first, but I don't see them falling so far back that they might not make the playoffs. I think they'll be in the solid 3, you know, in their division, but it ain't going to be. It's going to have to fall on the defense.
Misprint by our graphics guy, 4 to 6 months.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So 4 to 6 months, Tyler Seguin out. So yeah, again, could be season ending. Yeah. I'm thinking maybe career ending, possibly. Real quick, I know we talked about it before that we kicked off the show. Trouba and the trade to the Ducks. Looks like Shesterkin's going to get the highest paid contract for a goaltender in NHL history. Thinking that that was a financial move by the Rangers to move on.
Trouba was the captain, by the way.
Yeah, captain, $8 million a year. That's a good chunk of salary to get rid of.
Too much money for him.
Good move for the Ducks. Bad move for the Ducks. Do the Ducks even factor in this?
Good move for the Ducks because they don't have that salary like the Rangers do. The Rangers had to move him in order to do what they need to do. They get a good, you know, third pair defenseman, you know, for him. I played for the Bruins. He's got a lot of skill. There's an upside there, but he's not going to bring what Jacob Trouba brought to the Rangers. You know, he was a very solid body checker.
Do you think this hurts the Rangers' chances of possibly? I mean, again, one of the better teams in the NHL.
I do think it hurts them.
Yeah. And then again, you get rid of a captain, a guy that probably a lot of people respected in the locker room. You got to think about that sometimes.
Yep.
All right, we're going to continue some NHL conversation with our pick and roll, Ron.
Pick and roll.
It's time for pick and roll.
Any soundbite?
Our pick and roll this week, we are on episode 49, the Golden Rule. 49 years ago, 1975. These players led the NHL in points. We went dark there, buddy. We went dark.
Oh, what the hell?
These gentlemen led in the NHL in points in 1975, 49 years ago. Guy Lafleur, Bobby Clark, Gilbert Perrault, Bill.
Oh, come on. Oh, boy.
I'm not doing the French.
Gilbert Perrault.
Gilbert Perrault. Bill Barber, Pierre LaRoche, and Pete Mahovlich.
No, Mahovlich.
I was so close.
You're so close.
We're going to rank them from 6 to 1. Ron, you are first this week.
Hey, and you know, this features another player that is better than Sidney Crosby.
Oh, boy. You just can't let it go. Can't.
No, I can't. I'll never let it go. He's not top 5. Serenity now.
All right, so your
All
pick
right.
and roll, Ron.
So number 6, I have Pierre LaRouche. 395 goals, 427 assists, 822 points in 812 games. That's pretty impressive. So is that minus 29 that just sits there and glares right at me and say, what are you going to do about it? Well, what I did about it is put you last, buddy. He's won, 2 cups. That's pretty good.
He did win 2
Pretty
cups.
good. Not good enough.
Number 6.
Number 5, I have Pete Mahavlich. With his 288 goals, 485 assists, 773 points in 883 games. He had 4 cups. So 4 cups are better than 2 cups any day of the week, especially when that's the only hardware the 2 players have
There
had.
was a video, though, with 2 cups. Oh, let's move on. All right. You don't want to. No.
Wow.
We're not. Yes.
Wow.
There
So
wasn't
now we get
4 cups. I'm just saying the video. Anyway, go ahead.
So if I was doing this, I would cut the bottom 2 because Bill Barber would be number 4, and he trims the fat and the hair and cuts the other 2. So Barber is number 4. 420 goals for Bill Barber. 463 assists, 883 points in 903 games. He was a plus 312.
Not bad.
Fantastic player. Hall of Famer. He's won 2 cups, 3 All-Stars, and he deserves to be solidly number 4. It's not close. Number 3, Gilbert Perreault.
Gilbert.
You like that?
You hockey
Gilbert
guys.
Perreault.
You hockey guys.
512 goals.
Yes.
814 assists. 1,326 points in 1,191 games. This guy had some skill, let me tell you. He's only a plus 41, but he played on some really bad Buffalo teams. Just saying. But he was a great player. 81 game-winning goals. He's a Hall of Famer, 2 All-Stars. Didn't win a cup, but he did win a Calder Trophy and the Lady Bing. Number 3.
Okay, buddy.
Number 2, and again, this is a big gap between these 2 players, between 3 and 2. Bobby Clark, tough as nails for the Philadelphia Flyers. 358 goals, 852 assists, 1,210 points in 1,144 games, more than a point a game. He was a plus 507. Insane. That's Ray Bork territory right there. Right? So he was the best on the list for the plus minus. 38 game-winning goals, though. He got the goal scoring started, didn't finish.
Yeah.
But he is a Hall of Fame. He's won 2 Stanley Cups, 4 All-Stars, a Pearson, which is voted on by your peers. And maybe that's why they named it Pearson. Pearson.
But they didn't spell it Pierre then.
No, I know. But he's won 3 Hart trophies for MVP and a Selke as a defensive forward, so he could do both at both ends of the ice. He was fantastic, and I hated him because he was on the Flyers, but he was a fantastic player. But number 1, light years ahead, Guy Lafleur from the Montreal Canadiens. That's the only thing I hated about this guy, and it really bothered me because he was on that team. But I loved him as a player. 560 goals, most on the list. 793 assists, 1,353 points in 1,126 games. Crazy. And plus 446 doesn't hurt. 98 game-winning goals. He should have hung on for 2 more. Hall of Famer. 5 Stanley Cups.
Yep.
Now you know why I hated him so much, but loved him at the same time, right?
Yes, sir.
6 All-Stars, 3 Art Ross trophies for scoring. Sydney only won 2, by the way. Just saying. Exactly. 3 Pearson Awards voted on by your peers. a Conn Smythe for playoff MVP, 2 Hart trophies. This guy did it all. I mean, 5 Stanley Cups.
Yeah, no, very impressive.
Ridiculous.
So, Ron,
One of the top 10 players ever.
Ron, you deserve one of these, my friend.
No, you deserve one of those because hockey is not
not mine.
top.
Exactly the way you had it. The first 2 guys, like you said, Pierre LaRoche and Pete Mahovlich. I was close enough. Yeah, again, okay numbers. Pete with a plus 234, so that was pretty good. But again, in the 4 cups. Bill Barber, I did have at 4. And again, plus 312. I thought that was really impressive. And he won 2 cups as well. Guibert Pirot.
That's pretty good.
It was pretty. Listen, 1,326 points, second on this list in points. 81 game-winning goals as well. No trophy. That's what kind of hurt him a little bit. Bobby Clark, I agree with you, man. That was a plus 507. And you know how? Listen, I'm not a big hockey guy. You're the hockey guy, but any plus minuses, I really love. 507, so impressive. But Guy Lafleur. Just his numbers.
Bobby Clark was so good, Eric. I'm looking back at all those Bruin Flyers brawl games, right? I mean, they were it was so hard to get anywhere on the ice without somebody mauling you back then, and Bobby Clark was so good at both ends of the ice, good at face-offs. He was good at everything. And he deserves the accolades that he gets, and he's really not recognized enough with all the greats.
Yeah.
I mean, he was good.
Yeah.
He was good.
Great numbers. Guy Lafleur, like you said, number 1. 5 cups alone kind of raised him right to the top anyway. But again, 3 Ross, 3 Pearson, a Smythe, and 2 Harts. So again, I mean, he also got the accolades in a 7-time All-Star. 1,353 points in his career too, so not too shabby. So great list. Listen, at the end of the day, there were guys that we hadn't talked about in the past, and I'm like, wow, they're really good.
Yeah,
really good.
I'm actually glad you did both for the pick and roll and the starting 5. I loved both of them because for 2 different reasons. The first, the NHL one, for us being able to talk about some players that you're not, and those that aren't hockey fans are not familiar with. And then, you're talking first round picks. It really starts making you look at those teams that really have failed.
You saw a lot of Cleveland Brown guys, right? Like you start to see the same teams and you're going, they never have been able to figure it out.
No,
really cool.
Even with the great players like that they take for Myles Garrett. How do you mess up when you have a player like this?
Yeah, it's
give
crazy.
him something.
It's crazy, buddy.
All
right, Ron. Before we get into predictions, we should announce our Hall of Fame winners. So our Hall of Fame winners, Darryl Waltrip and Reggie Jackson, are now elected into the Sports Unfolded Hall of Fame. Congratulations to both of them. Their names are now on there. That is so cool. We will next week bring up the graphics, but we will be doing NHL and female Olympians for our next month's topics or sports. So please join the Sports Unfolded Sports Poll page on Facebook. And you'll be able to cast your votes for our athletes this upcoming month for the month of December. But congratulations again, Darryl Waltrip and Reggie Jackson, voted on by the fans into the Sports Unfolded Hall of Fame. So really cool.
Reggie Jackson, Mr. October.
Right? And he got it in December. No, but now he's Mr. December for us.
Oh, man, we should have did that in October, huh?
I posted a question of Facebook. On Facebook, Kenny, what was the question? Was that the basketball? If you took the 3 guys out, I think I answered it.
What was the question?
If you took out Kareem, LeBron, and Jordan, who would be the next great? I put Bill Russell.
Well,
just
yeah,
based on the
because
championship.
first
But I
of
saw
all,
somebody, Tim
gotta
Duncan.
open up a can of worms.
Can you do it
Wait.
next week?
I don't think LeBron should be thought of as
You have
a
to
GOAT.
because of the numbers. That's the problem.
No,
They
I
didn't say
don't
GOAT.
care.
And it wasn't a GOAT conversation. It was more about the impact or influence on the game. And I think that's the way he was saying it. Like LeBron's been doing it for quite some time and obviously holds
Kobe,
a bunch of
Bird,
records.
Magic,
I saw Bird's name
Bill
mentioned,
Russell.
Tim Duncan. I put yeah. But we can definitely do that, Kenny. Yes.
All those guys I see ahead of the bum.
All right. Let's do some predictions, Ron. You gained a little ground, picked up 2 games last week. You went 6-1.
So I was the big winner last week, right?
You were top dog.
I was the big winner, so nobody gets nothing.
Nothing for Christmas. I'm getting nothing for Christmas. So
That's
Kenny,
right.
Kenny's eking over 500 there, 4-3 last week. James pulling ahead a little bit now, 51%. So nice job there. If you are joining us live and you want to get your name on the chart, let us know who you pick for these games, and we will definitely make sure we add you to the Sports Unfolded prediction chart next week. Looking forward to it. Ron, you are first, so we'll start you off with some NBA action. On the 10th, you got the Dallas Mavericks at the OKC Thunder. This game is part of the quarterfinals or whatever for the NBA Cup
semifinals. Some stupid tournament they have. Yeah, I know. Listen though, James, you were so close. You had what, 5 last week?
Yes, he did.
If you would have gotten 6, you would have had a prize. So you gotta have the most correct in order to get it. All right, so my first one is I'm going Dallas, OKC, because last time I picked OKC, they failed me last week.
Kenny went OKC as well. You went Dallas.
I'm going Dallas.
I went Dallas as well. I think Dallas gets this one.
Let's go. We have a bunch of people on.
Dallas Mavericks at the Oklahoma City Thunder. That's on the 10th. Who's your winner? Dallas. I know James. James and Dallas.
Yep.
All right. Anybody else? Moving on. On the 11th, Ron, you've got the Golden State Warriors at the Houston Rockets. Warriors starting to, not as well. I think the Rockets, because it's this cup game and they want to see if, Duca can get them to the next level. I think they play a little harder for them because it'll be important to them. So I went the Rockets.
Yeah, I'm going Rockets too because that was a game I lost. I should have taken the Rockets last time. They showed me a little something beating a contender, and I'm going Houston. I'm not making the same mistake twice.
Kenny went Rockets. James as well. Clean sweep on that one.
Houston, we have liftoff.
All right. Tonight, you got a game in the NHL, Ron. Dallas Stars at the Vegas Golden Knights.
Yeah, I'm going to go Vegas on this one. They're going to be at home, and I don't like the fact that they've already lost Tyler Seguin. So when you need that veteran presence and he's not there, that's going to be tough to score goals.
Yeah,
in Vegas.
I thought the same thing. The Seguin injury, obviously that news will probably bust that locker room up for a little bit. So I went Vegas at home. Yeah, I think I agree with you there. Vegas at home. So Dallas Stars at the Vegas Golden Knights. Who do you have? Kenny went Vegas. All right, Kenny's picking too many that we're picking. Oh, boy, another clean sweep. All right. Also, in the NHL on the 10th, you got the Toronto Maple Leafs at the New Jersey Devils. New Jersey's playing some great hockey. Toronto, though, playing really good hockey as well. Austin Matthews playing great hockey. But at home, I'm going Devils here. I just feel like they've got a, solid game at home.
Yeah, I went New Jersey too. I just feel The Toronto Maple Leafs are only, a few points ahead of the pack in the Atlantic Division. And as bad as the Bruins are playing, they're third, and Florida is tied with Toronto. I don't think Toronto's been playing now that great either. So I'm going with New Jersey, who has been playing very solid, and they're at home. So I'm going with New Jersey.
Kenny's going with the syrup. All right. Probably a nice thing of flapjacks, pancakes, whatever you want to call them, French toast. And
See, now this is the way I like it. Kenny's on his own island with the Maple Leafs, and we all picked the Devils.
That's usually a good sign for us.
That's a good sign.
All right. NFL action, Ron. On Sunday, the Atlanta Falcons at the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Atlanta. This is not a good sign when you really need this win. And I don't see any real chance of winning it in Minnesota. I'd like Minnesota in this. I want to have Atlanta win it, but
yeah. A lot of talk, Kirk Cousins possibly being benched, like a lot going on in Atlanta. I think they're starting to fall, maybe regretting not hiring Bill Belichick, just saying. So, yeah, Minnesota at home, still playing good football. Listen, as much as I thought this was a fluke, they're one of the top teams in the league. They're in the spots and full of top 5 for a reason, because they've played really good football and beaten some good teams. So I think Minnesota at home, and the boys seem to agree as well. Kenny and James both going Minnesota.
Yep. Another clean sweep. We've had a lot of those already today.
Three in a row. 3 out of 5. Let's talk another big game. The Los Angeles Chargers at the Kansas City Chiefs. I am going to blow your mind on this one. I'm going the Chargers here because I feel like they have the right formula with the defense and the running game to actually win this game. The Chiefs have played a lot of close games this entire season, and I feel like this is going to be a tight squeaker. Isn't that? Oh no, it was Bika was the guy in Toy Story. But this will be a game where Jim Harbaugh's coaching will prove that with the talent he has, the Chargers can overcome it. I went Los Angeles here.
Well, James, it would be nice for Los Angeles to win this game, but the problem is Kansas City always has a 13th guy on the field, the 12th and the 13th, because 2 referees will make sure that the Kansas City Chiefs win, period. It happens every game. Every game, Kansas City will win the game.
Okay.
James went because of a bad call.
James went the chefs. That's still a great commercial. That Snickers commercial was one of the best ones. Great oogly boogly.
A little chef there.
Yeah, great oogly boogly. Yeah, Angie Reid.
No, I'm just so sick of them winning because of a call.
I think the Chargers get this one. All right, NCAA football. So a lot of championship games going on. So tomorrow you've got the number 5 Georgia Bulldogs at number 2 Texas Longhorns. Who do you have, Ron?
I like the Texas Longhorns in this. They've been there. They've been steady all season long. And I know Georgia is Georgia, but I think Texas is going to beat them.
So you picked against. So my Dallas, Georgia listeners this Saturday.
I know.
Remember who's picking who, because I am picking the Bulldogs because they've won more big games, have been in big games. I'm going the Georgia Bulldogs here in the upset. I think it's in Georgia. It's in the dome there.
Oh wait, is it in Georgia?
Yes, but yeah, because it's a championship game. It's technically a neutral site. It's in Georgia.
Oh,
Welcome Horns. James and Kenny both going Texas.
I'm going to still stay with mine, even though it's in Georgia.
Also, this Saturday, another big matchup in NCAA football. Number 3, Penn State Nittany Lions at number 7, Oregon Ducks. Everybody's going to go Ducks here. They play. I'm going to Nittany Lions. I'm going Penn State. Because, again, another neutral site game.
I have Peon State on here.
Peon.
My N looks like an O.
I'm going Penn State here. I think Penn State.
Yeah, I'm going Oregon. I think they're number one team. I think they're the best team, and they're going to win. Is that in Pennsylvania by any chance?
I don't know where it is. It's a neutral site. Oregon, both going to Ducks, Kenny and James.
Quack, 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 quack.
NCAA men's basketball this Saturday as well. Number 4, Kentucky Wildcats at number 7, Gonzaga Bulldogs. What do you have?
I'm taking Gonzaga in this one. I'm going underdogs, and I'm taking Gonzaga.
I went Zags as well. At home, undefeated. Only loss for Kentucky on the road. Again, I like the Bulldogs here. Both 7-1. Both teams 7-1.
Yep.
NCAA men's basketball, right? It's back. Before we know it, we'll be talking tournament. March.
This is madness.
James went UConn, who we're not picking. Oops, Zags. James wants to stick with. Ken, you got to pick. Wildcats at the Bulldogs. UConn. Hey, that guy's obsessed.
Kenny must be
back on it.
Getting another one.
All right, I'm about to move on. So we've got women's college basketball as well. That is on the 8th, so this Sunday. You got the number 3 South Carolina Gamecocks. Kenny went. Okay. So number 3 South Carolina Gamecocks at number 9 TCU Horned Frogs.
Wait, so the Horned Frogs and the Gamecocks.
So
just
right, like how do these names? You can't say an Indian name like they got rid of Indian Reds, all this stuff. You got Gamecocks and Horned Frogs. Whatever. All right, I went South Carolina here.
Oh, I went South Carolina also. I think they're gonna take care of business easily.
They did have that streak broken, whatever it was, 40-something games.
Yeah, something like that.
Kenny, South Carolina.
He's going with the Cars.
Going Gamecocks here. James just wanted to hear me say Gamecocks again.
Yeah, James just wanted that up there on the screen.
Yeah. You don't gotta.
And it's Gamecocks.
It's not game. Where's your emoji for that one? No, do not, James. Do not.
Oh my God.
So
hilarious.
I want, before we get into our final thoughts and end our show, Ron, want to talk about all the great things that we're doing here at Sports Unfolded.
Already?
Like, share, follow our show on all our social media platforms, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, MeWe. You can see that ticker running on the bottom of our show. And you have the ability to like, share, and follow on all those platforms. Also, if you'd like some Sports Unfolded merchandise, go to Patreon at RI Broadcasting, mugs, stickers, all kinds of different
right-handed
things.
or left-handed.
Right. So, all right. He put a rooster up. Very classy guy, James. You're all right, buddy. Also, audio platforms as well. So podcasts on Spotify, Google, Amazon, Red Circle, TuneIn. So again, a lot of different ways to watch us or listen to us. Support us on TikTok as well at RI Broadcasting, at Sports Unfolded, X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it at this point. Elon Musk's website, and then Facebook at Sports Unfolded and at RI Broadcasting as well. Ron, we also are looking for sponsors, and we will continue to look for sponsors to get thousands of eyes and ears on your business daily. Again, last week's over 2,000 views on Facebook. And again, hundreds more on radio. How can someone get their business on our little banner here and get their business?
Absolutely, Eric. Like I say every week, all you have to do, send an email to this address, ribroadcasting.media@gmail.com. We can send you out the media kit. I love that. The media kit is phenomenal, by the way, and it'll tell you everything you need to know to sponsor the show. And let me tell you, it does cost less than going to your local coffee shop and getting a large iced coffee, because people still do that in the
I drink iced
wintertime.
coffee. I drink iced coffee.
And, of course, a cinnamon roll, which is fantastic at this time of the year as well.
So, again, want to thank 99.1 WDJY FM, Dallas, Georgia. Saturdays at 1 p.m. WBOB in 990. That is in Rhode Island. Internet radio as well. We are on there Saturdays at 10 a.m. Southeast Connecticut. Public access channel 12 every Tuesday night at 10 p.m. Again, thank you for the support there. And again, all over Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, MeWe. So check that out as well. Like, share, follow, tell your friends about it. And you know what? The best thing to do, join us every Friday night at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are live, and we love to talk to the fans. We've had a lot of participation tonight. You guys have been amazing. Kenny, James, Austin, thank you all for joining. I'm sure I'm forgetting some of them. I don't know if you, Ron, have their names.
If I can look back at it, Truthful,
David.
David, yeah.
So was it Patricia? No, it was a P.
Yeah, I believe so.
Patricia, thank you. From Chicago, Dallas, Texas in the house today, Cedar Hills. So been really great to talk to everybody tonight. Ron, we are going to talk some final thoughts, and our final thoughts don't necessarily have to be about anything sports related. It could be about anything going on in the world today. You are first tonight, my friend. So please let us know what your final thought is.
As soon as I figure out where it is. So my final thought goes out to Lionel Messi, who won the MVP for the MLS. 20 goals, 16 assists, highest rate per 90 minutes in MLS history. But that was not the reason why I'm doing this. It's because what he did for the MLS was far beyond what any player has done. It put more eyes on the game in the United States. It put more bodies in the seats in those stadiums around the country. And he's easily my male athlete of the year because of those factors, just like Caitlin Clark is my female athlete of the year. They both did something very important for their sports. Put bodies in the seats and attention to the game.
Absolutely. Well said, Ron. And it's very true. Put millions of eyes on those sports.
What they did is just incredible. You have the biggest turnaround for two leagues in the history of any sports.
Yeah, no, very good point. All right. My final thought, Ron, is my thoughts, prayers, I'm sure yours as well, go out to the great wide receiver, Randy Moss, who is battling some undisclosed illness, really wants to keep it private right now at this point. But he's taking a hiatus from ESPN.
That's too bad, because he's pretty good.
Yeah, he really is. So we hope him the best, his family. We send out our prayers to him and his family in this time. Hope it's not too serious and he's able to come back and be productive again in the sports world. Because, again, one of my favorite players when he was on the Patriots, just for what he was able to do. And then even with those Minnesota Vikings, and how dominant he was, right? Time. So good luck, Randy Moss, on whatever you're battling. We're with you, and we hope to see you soon again. That is my final thought. That is tonight's show as well, Ron. What a great show it's been. A lot of fun. Again, every Friday night, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on all of our social media platforms. Check out tomorrow, the best morning show on the internet with Kenny and Ron. Those guys are so funny, and I have a lot of fun watching you guys go through your top 5, Ron, on some of these things. And
there'll be another one.
Right? Kenny's make you say what are the things he comes up with. It's really cool. Yeah, no more. You got Moss. I think maybe they'll still do it, Ron. Just Kenny, just to keep his spirits up. So we will see you again next Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And all we ever ask for, folks, is that we get some peace on earth.
Have a great night, everybody.